Hello and welcome to my by far favorite section, SEO and content marketing. The reason SEO being my favorite section is probably this is something which I do pretty much since my childhood. I guess I have over 15 years of professional experience in SEO. That was the thing which took my attention the most when I started discovering the internet and trying to see if I can make internet my business. SEO was so interesting because people obviously are searching on Google, including us. And SEO gives you the opportunity to be visible when somebody is searching for your target keywords, so to say. Of course, SEO refers to search engine optimization. We will also talk a little bit about content marketing. Before we start diving into details, so far we have discussed how a website should be, how we should focus on the conversions, conversion optimization, how we structure the website, and also we discussed the analytics portion of it. But if we don't have traffic, if we don't have visitors, most of these things will not mean much. I'm aware you get traffic from your email newsletter, your advertising campaigns, and many other places, and your branding power, of course. Many cultural institutions are known by people, and people search directly the institution's name or the festival's name. So many cultural institutions don't get organic traffic. We call SEO traffic usually organic traffic, organic search traffic. Let's give a couple of examples and see what we will be dealing with. For instance, let's say I am either a tourist or I just typed a keyword to Google, museums to visit in Paris. And the results here, of course, Google will show the ads, and then Google will show this beautiful section. This is important for us because before this, cultural institutions almost were not visible at all. Here now, at least we have the names clearly visible. But then when we check the results, none of these websites are owned by cultural institutions. They are just usually media platforms or social platforms, so to say. There are many reasons for this, but the main reasons is obviously the media platforms such as TripAdvisor, CNN, Time Out. They are powerful, right? They know digital marketing very well and they have so much traffic and they know how to be on top of Google. And that's pretty much their core business. And when we check these articles or posts or pages, we see that the most of the SEO rules that we will talk today are applied there perfectly fine. Whereas, where we check a cultural institution website, we will not see many of them. Because usually, as we talked about in the previous sections, usually the cultural institutions see the website like a business card pretty much. It's something to have, but not as a marketing channel, not as a channel to bring more visitors. Mostly, we see it as a where people buys tickets or where people finds our address or something like that, not a place where we can reach more audience. That's the main difference. And as we see this way, then of course we are always outranked by media platforms. Another example, let's say summer music festivals in Europe. Then again, you will see some platforms. None of these websites is actually a music festival. It's just lists, roundups, and that type of things. So this is what this chapter is about. We want to be visible here. We want to be ranked here. And we want to get more traffic to our website through organic search. And that's what we call SEO, search engine optimization. And content marketing is a huge part of it. And maybe even more than that, content marketing probably now is more powerful than SEO itself, considering the social platforms and so on. But yeah, we will go deeper into this in a bit. If this is the first video you are watching from this video series, please go ahead and start from the first video because this video is part of a framework which we call Roadmap to Digital Marketing for Cultural Institutions. And we have this beautiful framework, and most of the things, and even more of the things that I will discuss today, is linked here. And you will find all the information, next steps, how it works, why we should be doing here for each. In this video, I will not go through each of them in depth. I will try to keep this video more strategic because, however, the technical steps are here if you want to follow. So let's go back to our structure. First of all, the same example, similar example here we have, I searched best festival in Barcelona. I know this is a silly keyword, but just as an example, right? And again, we see the websites such as media sites like Trip101, Timeout, and SpanishFiestas.com, and so on. And here we see this blue link and thing. We call it page title, one of the most important elements of SEO. That's why I start with that page title. When you visit any page, let's just go, let's type Puff Tallinn. At the moment, I am in Tallinn, where I am located. In the previous videos, we were in Köln. So as SEO is my favorite chapter, I wanted to record it in our own office. I'm joking, of course. That's not the case. But anyway, so we are in the Perth website. You know, Perth is a beautiful, wonderful film festival, Black Nights Film Festival here in Tallinn. And this is the website. And as you can see here on the tab, on this Chrome tab, something is written Perth BNNF. That is called page title. Whatever you write in the page title in your code, I will try to show that in the code. You don't need to do that. You don't need to know that. I'm just trying to show you where it comes from. So this is the code block, code of this website, and you see its title. Perth BNNF, Black Nights Film Festival, and Perth is the Estonian version of it. So that's page title. Page title is quite an important element for SEO, but as you can see, even in this example, we don't have any keyword included here. They just wrote the name of the festival. Sorry, guys. I know you do a great job with marketing, but maybe not with SEO specifically. But when we check these examples, you will mostly see summer music festivals. The keyword that I'm typing, you will mostly see that in the title too, right? These are the examples. Another example, let's check. Museums, museums to visit Paris, museums to visit Paris, and so on. So that tells us something, right? That tells us in our page title, we need to include our target keyword. We will come into the keyword topic in a bit, but we are just starting from the top to the bottom. So that's what page title is. As I mentioned earlier, actually cultural institutions have a vast potential in the digital world in terms of content, in terms of authority, in terms of brand awareness. These are the things which Google or other search engines care a lot. And mostly museums, film festivals, artists have this. But as you don't have the other parts of the SEO, then you don't get to be ranked at the top. For us, to get 100x more organic traffic, so to say, we need to understand how this thing works. We need to analyze our existing website's SEO performance. We need to fix technical problems if there are. And we need to find low-hanging fruits and work on those. We need to target better keywords and optimize our page accordingly. And last but not least, of course, we need to create new content to serve our goal. So these are all the things which we need to do. It seems easy when we just write down, but of course it's not. It's a work. It's something that we need to work on. But again, here is our open source free framework. And we have everything you need to do step by step. And even we have a detailed to-do list if you want to do it through to do. So this is public. This is available. You could just go ahead and use this. And if you follow the steps one by one here, you will succeed, but I will cover the most important and strategic ones here today. Later on, you can use the other ones because again, in each section, we have quite important know-how covered there. And also, let's check why we gotta do this, right? This is a work, and I know we are all busy, especially you cultural institutions are busy and we lack resources. Why would we even care? Because it's free, apart from the effort standpoint, right? It's not ads. We don't pay per click or we don't need to purchase something. It's just free. We just need to optimize our existing website. It brings permanent results. You know, in ads, you just pay per click, and then when you stop paying it, then you stop getting results. And the traffic and search demands always grow. So there are always more searches in Google. Even though the times change, right? There are new tools now, we have AI, but still more people, or if not more people, more searches are being done on Google. So it's great to be there. Google, Bing, doesn't matter. Everything we will talk today, I will usually mention Google, because that's like over 90% of market share. But it applies to all search engines. Even it applies to AI optimization, right? Like the AI search engines optimizations. And search engine and content marketing traffic allows our audience to engage with us more. When we create more content, people read more things from us or watch more things from us. That's pretty useful, and it increases the brand value and media power. So we reach more people every day. More people sees your brand or reads your article or watches your video. This is amazing, right? It can bring more sponsorships. It can bring more visibility to your festival, music, whatever you are doing, and it can help you reach where you want to be, or at least it can help you sustain where you want to be, because the attention span is going low and it's getting hard to get people to do something. So SEO and content marketing efforts are really useful. Obviously, in my company, all of our marketing efforts are in SEO and content marketing. We almost don't do any paid media, paid spend. I suggest the same for everyone, obviously, but to come there, we need to make some effort. So that's why we care about SEO and content marketing. And now let's talk about what we talk about when we say content. We need content. It's not just our website's homepage, about page, and so on. We need a little bit more than that. The types of content we can create are, of course, these are types of content we can create to help SEO and general visibility. We can create long form blog posts and listicles, the examples I mentioned here. For example, let's say you are a music festival, right? You could write an article like this in your own blog. And of course, if you believe, you can put yourself to the first, but you could put other festivals too. This way, when somebody search this keyword, they will come to your site and they will see your music festival in number one or number two, wherever you place, especially if you are not ranked in this kind of lists. So you could do that. You could create these listicles, and other types of long form blog posts. You could create how to guides. Depends on your audience, of course, depends on what you are doing, but how to guides are really useful, especially if you are targeting industry professionals. Let's say you are a film festival and you are looking for more film submissions. Then you could create some how to guides on how to submit your film, how to choose the festivals that you want to submit your film, and many other examples like that. You could create videos, obviously. You have tons of videos, right? From your events, from your festivals, and so on. You could just publish them on YouTube, Vimeo, and all these platforms. You could as well do a podcast. It's an amazing way to reach. And also, all these efforts, again, will increase your online visibility and will also increase your rankings in Google. For example, you have a podcast. It is listed on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Google sees that, Google ranks it. Google gets that link, that backlink from that podcasts. Google says, okay, this website has a podcast. So this website might be more valuable than the others. So it works that way. You could do some branded images. You take hundreds of photos during your events or festivals. You could as well publish them as royalty-free images. That will give you more visibility. Depending on your niche, you could consider making some interactive tools, quiz, calculators, and that type of things, or education series. Just like this one. Right now, I'm teaching SEO for cultural institution, and obviously more people from the culture industry will know me as an expert or will know my company. We don't have software products for cultural institution, but it's just a good example of it. I will show you different examples to each of them of what we do on our end and how it helps us else, but this was just a quick wrap up. And now let's talk about SEO elements. So these are the SEO elements which we will go through one by one. And obviously they are part of your website or connected to your website. So let's start. Page title, we already talked a little bit, so I'll skip this part quickly. But we could easily say that this is the very first key element in search engine optimization. We need page title to be different for each page. For instance, your homepage will have a different page title, and your About Us page will have a different page title, and your blog posts obviously will have different page titles. We better have a standard format, right? Usually, page name and then brand name comes. For example, let's go to our website. The page title is the most loved Shopify analytics app. Obviously, this is probably one of our target keywords, so we included that in our page title. And then if you go to another page, use cases, you will see here on the right top corner, use cases for Analyzify, exclusively built for Shopify. So as you can see here, we included the keywords there. And this page, as this is a different page, it has a different page title. This is very important. And the page titles should be interesting. They should be clickable. Why? Because page titles are not necessarily, but more often than not listed here in Google, clickable. So people decide this click decision according to title. For instance, if one of these wrote 19 best museums in Paris, according to local critics, this is interesting, right? You are just like, oh, okay, this is not just a random list. This is according to local critics. So maybe I should click that. So it's a nice differentiation. So we should see page title that way. It should be clickable. It should be interesting. Obviously, it should include our target keyword for that specific page, and it cannot be way too long. It should respect the character limits. So it shouldn't be too long. If you want to go deeper into this, then again, one more time, here we came to our open source framework, and then easily you could find here meta, title, and description, and you will see all the details here. And you will also see your next steps, what you need to be doing about this. So this was about page title. Let's talk about content, page's content. Content should be original and unique, obviously. When you copy and paste the content from one platform to another, from one website to another, Google or other search engines clearly know that this is a copy-paste content and it has a very low chance to be ranked. So if you are writing a blog post about, let's go through the same example, summer music festivals in Europe or music festivals in Europe. If you just copy and paste it from another page, another website, you will most likely not be ranked, or even if you are ranked, you will be ranked really, really low. And if you do it so much, then you might even be penalized by Google because Google wants original and unique content. Usually content should be long form, like 750 words plus ideal. We need a good formatting in our content. The headlines, sub-headlines, it should be easy to consume. It shouldn't look like just like a ugly Word document, right? This is a website, so we need to use web elements properly. So we need to use headlines, sub-headlines, images, lists. So it should look nice and beautiful. Let's check this example. You see, nice headline, nice sub-headline, alternative links, image, beautiful spacing, some structured data. These are really, really good stuff. This is what we need to do to be ranked. That's why they are, obviously they have so much budget for it, they have a specific team for it, but we can learn how they take it and how it works for them. And then ideally, if this is a long form content, it needs to have the table of contents and even FAQ. FAQs are getting more and more important, which is our next step also, answers to search queries in FAQ. Because of this change in search and AI, we type less keywords and more long form questions. Instead of writing music festivals Europe, now maybe people write music festivals in Europe, which music festival I can go in Europe with my kid, for instance. So this is a long form question. That's why the FAQs cover this kind of queries, and it's quite good and useful and important. And the page needs to be accessible, obviously, right? It should be accessible for the search engines. It should be fast. It should work smooth. It shouldn't have so many technical problems. Technical problems, when we talk about it, we have an again special section here under the SEO and content marketing. Here we have this getting started section. This is more the technical problems and technical issues that we listed there. So you might as well want to go and check those out. This will help Google to rank your site, to find your site easily, to understand your site, and then to rank your site. So Google is a bot and it's a software, so it needs to understand what you are talking about. Accessibility is a quite important part of it. Obviously, images. In our websites, we have thousands of images maybe. They as well should be original and unique, which is good. And we should name images. We shouldn't just upload the images with the same name that comes from our camera, right? So we should name them whatever they are, so that when people search for something, they can find those images, or Google can understand better what this image is about. We need to optimize the images, like to compress properly, right? If we just upload an image 4,000 pixels, nobody can view a website in 4,000 pixels. I mean, rarely, right? Usually 1,000, 2,000, between 1,000 and 2,000 pixels is ideal for the web, for the full width images. But if you in your website, if you are using this image in a small section, for example, let's check this image. It is small, right? So this image doesn't need to be so big. They only used 1000 pixel, which is fine. If this image was like 4000 pixel, it would still look small here. But then the page would load slower. So we don't want that. We want the images optimized properly. Image shouldn't block the content, but it should support the content. That's very important. It should flow with the content. Every page needs an image. It's really hard to read. I mean, this post would be so different if we didn't have these images, right? So now it's so easy to, I can scroll down fastly. I can see, oh, okay, this looks interesting. Now I'm reading it and so on. Every page needs an image. If you have some pages that doesn't have images, that's probably not good. So you might as well optimize it. And we have one last thing, we call it alt tag. It's pretty much, it's a code. When we upload an image, in the backend, we write what that image is. This is mostly for search engines to understand, but also for accessibility. People who cannot see, they use special browsers and special devices, and those devices tell them this alt tag for that what image is, which is very important, and also important for SEO obviously, but more than SEO, for accessibility. Definitely your images should have alt tag, and the alt tag should describe what the image is. And then the URLs. When you go to your website, let's just go to our website, you see the URLs change, and then we can go to destinations, URL change. I go to destinations and Google Analytics, URL change again. And as you can see, our URLs are pretty structured and constructed. It should be that way. We don't need this extra things in the URL like the numbers, or these are very old web stuff. We got rid of those quite a long time ago, but the old school websites have still those. So we really should get rid of them, and we should have a clean URL structure. For instance, if you list movies on your site, then you should just make your site /movies and then movie name. If you show tickets, and if you in the ticket purchase page, then tickets/buy. Or let's say you have directors and then you have submission, then /directors/submit. It is so much more structured. It will help search engines to understand your content much better. So better if we have a clean and good URL structure. One thing to note here, which is quite important, that if you ever change your URLs, then you need to make sure that you redirect your old URL to the new URL. Let's say for some reason, I want to change this URL. I want to remove this, let's say, from here. This should be maybe the new URL. But then, if I don't do the redirection, Google cannot relate these two pages, old URL and new URL, which is really bad. Then the old page will lose its own score on Google, so to say. And more importantly, these links are somewhere, right? You send emails, these links are in your website. You need to redirect, otherwise you will lose that traffic and people will go to 404 pages in your website, which we never like that to happen. So this was about URLs. So far we talked somewhat technical things as well as the strategical things. But now let's talk a little bit more about content. How we will find content ideas, how we will create content. In our Notion, in the content section, in the on-page SEO section, you will see a section called SEO content. Here we explain how content should be, pretty much the things that we discussed. But then we have a section called content strategy. Here you can get lots of content ideas. Trust me, every business has tons of content ideas. You just need to work for it. You just need to think, check examples, and what you should do. Let's say you are a festival. You show 50 movies every year, right? If you make a movies page, and if you list those 50 movies in your festival, you have 50 pages, and then you have directors, 50 more directors, and then every year this adds up. Don't delete the previous year's movies. You could just write, yeah, this movie we showed on our festival in 2015, but still keep that page, because that page will bring you traffic. When somebody is searching for that movie, they will find your festival, and maybe they will be interested in joining your festival. So some ideas are like, we call it bulk content. This type of contents are, you could create some archives, some wiki, and we have again some other examples here. You could create how to content. If you are interested in how to find how to content ideas, I like this technique. This works really well. There are so many tools for keyword research, and there is that specific section too for keyword research here. But I really mostly use Google instead of the third-party tools, because Google already gives us so many content ideas. When you start typing a keyword, it will start suggesting you some things, right? And then you could easily, let's say, music, festivals, 2004, some ideas. Let's just hit it. More ideas here. Let's just hit it. More ideas here. You could do the same on YouTube. You could just start typing your keywords on YouTube and the YouTube autocomplete will suggest you some keywords. This is really a good way to do. And then there's a website called People Also Asked. A really cool one. Here you could type a keyword and then you could get keyword ideas about other keywords, like that will show you what people asked. It will give a similar result of what we do, but this is more structured. You could check that. The free version is also fine. I mean, you can pay if you like, but the free version will still show you some good keyword ideas. You could find keyword ideas like that. You could repurpose interviews. Let's say you want to write a content about best music documentaries of 2024 or best music documentaries. Maybe you just send this question to 20 directors that you know or 20 directors that joined your festival. They send their answers as an email. Let's say 10 of them answered. You have a great content now. You just merge them. You say directors answered. Best music documentaries of 2024 or best music documentaries of this year, of best music documentaries about Americas, right? So these are again just ideas. So as the summary, first of all, we need to think about SEO. We need to check our website. We need to optimize our website, find some content ideas, create new content, find some keyword ideas, and apply those keyword ideas into our website. Only then we will start getting ranks and we will get more traffic. This topic is too long. We could talk about SEO for many, many hours, but that's the reason we created this framework. You will find here so valuable tips and tricks for each. You could start from getting started and then on-page SEO, technical SEO, and content and strategy. You could take this step by step and improve your businesses, your cultural enterprises, or maybe even your personal website's online presence. In this video, I tried to give you a high-level overview of what SEO is and how you could benefit. I hope it was useful. Hopefully, you will get tons of traffic from Google and you will improve your cultural enterprises' online visibility. Thank you so much for being with me in this education. I hope this project was helpful to you. Please send us your feedback if you have one. If not, you could just greet us if it was useful. We would really love to hear from you. Thank you so much, and I wish you a great